What is going on? My name is Justin Betancourt, and I am a director, filmmaker, writer, all that, based here in Houston, Texas. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different, something I've never done before. I wanted to go through my very first feature-length documentary and do a commentary throughout the entire thing. We filmed this back in 2023, so it's a couple of years old. I call it my accidental feature-length documentary because I went into it not knowing that I was going to make a full hour-and-a-half long documentary. But here we are. I did it. I learned so much, and I haven't seen this in over a year. I've been purposely waiting to watch this in its entirety for this because I wanted to have a fresh set of eyes and new reactions. It's been a long, long time since I've watched this. So we're going to watch this together. If you want to watch it first, before I go through all this, go to Christian's YouTube. The whole entire thing's there. And then you can come back here and kind of get like my behind the scenes of everything. So yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into this and watch. I'm just a YouTuber.
Let's make a deal. Before I walk into this frame and show you what I look like, promise me that you won't click away and you'll be conscious if you start making stereotypes in your head.
So this whole intro was created by Nabil. He is an amazing, amazing, amazing editor. And I knew straight off the bat, before we even started editing, I was like, I want you to make like the sickest intro ever for this documentary. He normally makes intros for Christian's Summer Shredding series, which is a series of him cutting for his competitions in previous years. And he always kills those. And I was like, all right, I want you to take all those and make the best intro you possibly can for this one. And I think he delivered. It's so good.
He's just so...
He's an idiot.
He's finally come out, kind of.
Christian is...
unlike anyone else that I've ever met before. He is really...
cringy-ass cloud character.
He spent so long finding all of these different YouTubers and clips of people talking about Christian. It's so funny, some of the stuff that he got. Oh yeah, an awesome song by The Word Alive. Sorry, said that wrong. And they were so kind enough to let us use this for this documentary. I think it just added so much to this intro. The energy's high, especially when we watched it in the theater. Everyone, it's just so much energy.
If you are someone that has watched fitness vlogs over the past 10 years, you have definitely came across Christian Guzman's channel.
Christian Guzman. This is one of the most veteran of the OG fitness YouTubers.
Christian Guzman is...
He spent so long on those titles, on the like newspaper-looking stuff. I think he probably spent the majority of the 2 weeks that we edited on those titles. It's crazy.
He is going to go down in history as probably the pioneer.
Some of my favorite footage from Alphalete that we filmed a couple of years ago. Yes. First shot with the red ever.
People started unsubscribing. He has decided that he is going to end uploading on his YouTube channel.
He's only posted 2 videos in the last 6 months, and so why this? Why now?
Why are you doing everything that you do?
So basically the idea behind this intro was if someone has never heard of Christian and they watch this documentary because we had the intent to sell it, that they would kind of get a grasp of who he is, what his businesses are, and just like the scope of what he was doing. And I think it really came through. Also, I wanted it to pique interest. I wanted it to hit hard, and you know, if someone at Netflix or whoever was watching this, they'd just be instantly zoned in to continue watching the documentary. And had to do the Netflix intro, Netflix doc intro.
I don't know, man. I'm just a YouTuber.
Boom. Nailed it. Yeah.
We went for a checkup with my wife, and it was, I don't know, Thursday or something like that, and She had a checkup, and we were going back to the car, and we got in the elevator, and all of a sudden she looked at me. I kind of noticed.
Christian's parents are the nicest people in the world. We've gotten to really know them over the past few years, and I don't know, it's really cool just to kind of get all these memories and stuff from them, and I think this is something that they'll be able to cherish for, years and years to come, so it's really cool getting to have them involved.
Very scared. First baby, and I think Christian was hungry a lot of times because the doctor tells you to give the baby 3 ounces of milk or whatever, and that's what you want to do. And it was kind of scary.
Holy crap, dude, that just blew everything up, man.
It's so cool. She gave us all of her tapes from their childhood, Christian and his brother's childhood. So we had them converted to digital, and we sifted through all of his childhood tapes to find really cool clips to put in this. Got to know him really well. I had to sift through all of his childhood tapes, all of his YouTube videos, everything. So became Christian expert by the time this was all done.
He gives you more faith, more power, more commitment, more objective in life. And that day, you become a man.
What's up, guys? Christian Guzman Fitness. What's up, guys? Christian Guzman.
Another insane cut in from Nabil.
Christian Guzman.
But I remember there was a place across Dulles, workout place, weights and all that. Baseball players used to go there and train and all this kind of stuff. And I remember he signed up there, real skinny kid,
Then he started doing weights in high school. So we would prep in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so I wanted to go his entire journey of his life. Like I said before, I wanted, if someone had never heard of him or know anything about what he's about, I wanted them to get a full grasp of his history. So I had his parents talk about how he got into fitness, what kind of kid he was growing up, and all that.
Totally. And also the love for the sport. He changed with
also, for you camera nerds out there, all the interviews were shot with the Blackmagic Pocket 6K.
I found that was the one sort of sport that I could actually compete in, was bodybuilding.
Christian had just started TCU like a month after. I was doing some work in Dallas and he was in Fort Worth. And I called him and it's like, I'm gonna go back home tonight. Let me swing by Fort Worth and we can have dinner. I was waiting for him and I see Christian walking into the restaurant with a little notebook. And I said, what's that? And he goes, this is my plan. So he had a plan a month after he started college. He knew what he wanted to do, and that's when he started doing videos and meal plans. But he had everything was in that little notebook.
He decided to stop going to Texas Christian.
Christian turned that notebook into an iPad now, so now he just carries an iPad around instead of a notebook.
I believed in my son 150%, and sure enough, man.
And he did it. Mm-hmm.
This new company, it's called Alphalete. Take the word alpha. You take the word.
So you kind of get a backstory of who he was as a kid, and now we're transitioning to the start of his clothing brand Alphalete. Just kind of giving an idea of what that is.
Come down. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this name? What do you think about this logo? How much should I charge? How much can we spend? The whole thing. So it was great. I mean, he was saving all his money just for that.
It's something I'm just so proud to put my name behind. It's something that,
again, had to go through all of his YouTube videos and find all of these clips, first Alphalete clips, his first gym clips, everything like that. So got to know his history really, really well throughout all of that. But before going into editing, I had to create a story because, like I said before, I didn't know that we were going to be doing a feature-length documentary. So after I had already filmed everything, I was like, how can I make a story, like an overarching story out of all of this footage that I got? And I just thought, let's take it back to the beginning and start from baby all the way kid, high school, into starting Alphalete.
is happening.
awesome song. I think Oz found this song. He's a huge fan of the orchestra stuff. So
Alpha Land is like Disneyland.
The Disneyland of fitness.
People move from all over the world here to be a part of the magic that kind of exists around the air here
hey,
in
you
Alpha
recognize her?
It's got the food, it's got the clothes, it's got the people, cameras, lights.
An incredible community that I've never seen another gym.
And the beautiful thing about it, people are growing and becoming better people in our community, stronger, more objective, and just it feels very.
Man, this is so cool watching this again. So many, I want to say so many years, but like over a year later, I haven't really gone back to it. And I remember the first cut of this documentary that I did. We all finished. We each took a third. All the editors took a third of it, and at the end of it, I was like, "There's no way this is." It was nothing. It was just a jumbled mess of cuts. So it's cool to see it come from that to what it is today.
Competitive on a national level, and therefore that's why I've always just kind of stuck to the local shows.
So I've been keeping track.
Day one, this is where it all started. Yep. I showed up, and the intent here when I was filming was I was just going to film this day, make an edit of it at the end of the day, and upload it to his Instagram. Little did I know what was going to actually come of it.
It's my first time going for that next level.
We're going to start the push once we see a little bit of stabilization. We want to keep this trend alive. That's going to be our main focus throughout this process.
The one thing I'm worried about, though, is there's a lot on the plate. Alphalete Athletics, $100+ million brand.
So good. I love these little cut-ins that Nabil did. I feel like it really just ties it all in together.
A team, so I can go and like do this prep. I thought I would be in a better spot with all the previous months of work that I've been doing and trying to find people for. That looks perfect, bro. This looks a little, the application could be a little. Met women's fashion designer, Alphaland GM, like all those things I'm still kind of doing on my plate. Like some sort of structure to keep rain out. But the reality.
Yeah, so we're already zooming in right here. At this point, we're like, on those B-roll shots, we're already probably a couple of weeks into his prep.
I know that this prep is going to be harder than any of the other ones he's done. He has never competed with his businesses at this level that they're currently at.
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm running a little late. So Dana, Michael, I know we haven't...
I'm anxious to step into more responsibility in knowing that as he gets further along into prep and starts stepping away, that's going to start putting more
so
in
at
my
this
lap
time
and
Kirby
more on my
was
plate.
When Kirby came on as
he
creative director, it's just like the stars were aligned. I couldn't have started prep without that because I was drowning really bad. Awesome, guys. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, so this is like 2 or 3 weeks into prep already at this point. It was so hard because I had to stay under the time limit. Obviously, like I wanted to keep it around an hour and a half, and the things I wanted to highlight were more towards the end of his prep, you know, like the shows and everything like that. So I felt kind of rushed at the beginning of prep, and I got so much good footage that I didn't get to use.
Our men's fashion designer, we have like a system down.
Yeah. So I shot this entire thing, 99% of it, apart from the interviews and a few shots at the show day, all on the red Komodo. And I'm going to do an entire video breaking that down. Why I shot it on the red Komodo, how I shot it on the red Komodo. You'd be surprised at how minimal the setup that I used was. It's crazy. But some of these shots, I love them. Tampa. Yeah, that was a fun trip.
Now you're getting into your actual prep, your cut. For Christian, that usually means cleaning up the diet. It means no more Takis. It means no more Shipley donut. That's usually the first few weeks, is really just cleaning up his diet and kind of getting his body used to a balanced caloric intake, if you will.
This one is a little different. The approach is a little different. We have to make sure that Christian not only builds good habits from the start, with this reality being that this is the longest prep he's ever had to go through, and that's not easy, but also making sure that he is going to be able to stand on stage with the big boys. We all know Christian can be conditioned, but now controlling every variable, making sure he doesn't sacrifice muscle throughout the process of getting conditioned, with practicing posing, presentation, confidence, all of the minute details that may have gotten...
Alex is so well spoken. I remember like he just nailed this interview first take.
Weeks gives us the ability to bring food down slowly while in the...
It was very hard to kind of keep track of interviews, and like Alex lived in Florida, but we did this interview in Houston, and we shot this B-roll of him working out probably a month before he came to do this interview. Actually longer, probably like 2 months. So I had to remember what I filmed out there to ask him about later.
Of your really big compound movements, you should be pushing yourself to that level, and then some. Even if it means half reps, pulsing rep, whatever it means, to get a little bit more out of that set. So, you're going where?
It was cool. I got to see a lot of really cool gyms during this process. Whole gym culture I didn't really know existed.
To see Christian, my goal while he's here is to keep that fire lit. Remember, everybody has skin here, right? So don't push in. When you're prepping for an extended period of time, it's very easy to kind of take your foot off the gas either early or sometimes late. We're not going to let that happen this time around. It's a lot of good vibes, beautiful weather, high level of intensity of training, and like I said, surrounding Christian with people who are simply inducive to where he's trying to chase, which is that pro card.
We have summer shredding. Summer shredding is my baby.
I want to welcome you guys to the first ever SSC competition here in Tampa.
What started as a YouTube series of me documenting my own prep. My brand new series called Summer Shredding turned into a online competition.
What's up, bro? How are you? What's your name?
It's so cool. I mean, on a lot of the stuff, like I said before, just on the show days is when I had multiple people come help me film. So it was really hard to try to cover all of this on my own. Obviously, looking back, now I would have done things so much different, but I had never done a feature-length doc before, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I think it kind of all worked out, and I'm really happy with some of these shots. Just making it look like there's multiple cameras and, like we're getting a lot of coverage. And I really wanted to give that BTS feel of his life. All the social media posts he had to do, vlogging, doing his show prep, all of that stuff. I really wanted people to see that behind the scenes, who he really is, not who he shows on YouTube, but who he really is as a person, as the person that I know him as.
Christian is starting to really feel his prep. His phone is just completely blowing up with all of his team, and rightfully so, that, they need answers, they need this, be able to handle.
It was crazy. So here in Florida, he got vertigo. I think it was literally the day after this. He just, I don't know what you call it, a vertigo attack. And literally right after that summer shredding show, he just had to go. He was bedridden for the next 3 days, so didn't get to get a lot of footage that I wanted to there. But I think it was the effects of all the pressure from prep, from filming this documentary, filming his YouTube, all these different things kind of weighing down on him, and it was really really scary.
I trust him, so I'm gonna just do the best job I can to hold down the fort while he's chasing his goals.
Oh, Dublin. Yes, this was such a fun trip.
I would say bodybuilding is a very selfish sport. That's the number one.
This is the really cool part about it all is how much traveling he did during his prep and still able to drop weight.
It's a very isolated sport. You're alone.
So when we were in Dublin, we were actually there to film for an Alphalete video. So I was simultaneously filming for Alphalete and for his documentary. So I was getting double the footage.
So I have a confession.
But again, flying internationally with Red Komodo, Canon R5C, drones, all that stuff is a challenge, but I think we made it look good.
Not met him in real life. Truly, they do know the real Christian, but I think in his attempt to motivate people, he doesn't shine a light on a lot of the struggles and challenges that he's facing as just a regular human being that's facing life.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. I wanted to show that side of him that was, YouTube doesn't see. because it is pretty stressful.
His desire to motivate people is CG on YouTube, and his real life of I haven't slept in 4 days, I'm drowning in notifications, and I'm behind on work. That's the side that YouTube doesn't see.
So for me, when we went to see Rob, one, that's a longtime friend.
Yeah, that's who we were shooting in for Alpha Elite.
Yeah, Nabil's gonna be there. Things are gonna.
There's Nabil, the man behind the edit.
But a lot of the same kind of like problems or like things are following me. I can't escape anywhere unless I lock the door and just like.
That's literally how it was too. We were scheduled to film for several days, and he was just like out. And we ended up only filming, I think we were in Ireland for like 4 or 5 days. We ended up only being able to film 1 day. So all of this Ireland footage that you're seeing was all captured just in 1 day of filming with him. He was just toast during it all. But he pulled through, and we got some really, really cool footage. And this gym is awesome. I loved filming in this gym.
Another verb.
Oh yeah, shout out Mad Valley. My boy Todd hooked up so much music for us to use. This is his original music. I love the vibe of it. So again, thank you, Todd, for letting us use that. Oh man, these are. I love the greens in the shot. It was cloudy, overcast, so the lighting just looks so good. So yeah, then after Dublin, we went straight to Spain, filmed some more stuff in Spain. Didn't get to put that in the documentary. Like I said, I had to pick and choose what I wanted to add, and I had to leave out so much stuff.
The country to Dublin, driving to the UK and back to Dublin, and then going to Marbella, and then going to Greece, and then coming home and being 13 pounds over.
Yeah, so this is literally right when he got back. So we went to Spain together, then he flew to Greece, was there for a few days, then came back, and he was 13 pounds heavier. And we were trying to get in the groove again of filming here. At this point, we had already... Actually, I still don't think we knew that we were doing a feature-length documentary at this point. I think I was still planning on doing episodic stuff, so I didn't get what I normally would have gotten if I would have known I was doing the long-form documentary.
Seeing your body transform during a prep is a journey where you learn so much about yourself, both physically and mentally.
She doesn't know how to bark. She just says that. Sorry, girl. I'll be right back. I'm walking to Whole Foods right now. Do you want me to...
It's so cool. These. This is like when the DJI mics came out, and back in my day, learning filmmaking and all that, 15 years ago, we used the Sennheiser wireless mics. So to have these new DJI mics, we knew at the time, mics was a game changer. They're so fast to set up. They always worked, and I use that for like all the clear audio you hear in this film. Tried to hide it a lot of the time. Later on, I ended up getting an external mic to connect to it so that I could hide it under their shirt, and it was a much higher quality mic, but I still used the little body to capture that mic. So it was literally DJI mic plugged straight into the Komodo, and that's how I rocked the audio. And I think it came out really good. Obviously, I would have loved to have a sound guy there, have a proper sound guy mixing audio live, but I just did the best I could with what I had. That scene's so funny. He's so chaotic, and this is exactly how he is in real life. Like when he sits down to eat, that's how he's sitting down to eat. Just moving 1,000,000 miles an hour.
And then one with Michaela I'll be doing.
I got 2 outfits ready, but you can decide. I mean, a lot of it did need dry cleaning.
Those pants especially need the dry cleaning.
These ones are just, I think I went through them. They just need to be ironed. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
If you're okay. So
the shot's a little dark, but I guess that's what you get with documentary. You kind of got to get what you can take in the lighting that you're being given at the time. Oh man, all these setup shots. I was like, all right, back up. Let's do it again. Let me get the shot from the back. Let me go. So many of those shots that I think people don't even notice.
Wow, like crazy.
Oh yeah, this is a cool day.
I came back home from that 3-week Europe trip.
James Harden, former Rockets basketball player. It was crazy. We literally found this out like an hour before. They were like, James Harden's coming through. I was like, you think we can film him for the documentary? And Christian was like, yeah, let's do it. So they texted, I guess, his manager, and he was like, yeah, he's cool. He's totally fine to do it. So I was like, man, this is going to be cool. So we got to film some clips of them together. We didn't obviously want to crowd James his space. So we kind of let him do his thing. He brought in like 20 people to help him work out. They were like running drills and stuff, and it was cool. There's a basketball gym set up in Christian's private gym. And so like this, like literally watching James Harden play, who like that's his job to play basketball, but he's still here like having fun, just shooting for fun. It was so cool.
In that subconscious, something I need to get out again.
Florida, yeah. So we're going through these days and events pretty quick. Florida was an interesting trip. Like he said, I just needed to get out. He left, and I hadn't filmed with him probably in like 2 or 3 weeks at this point. And he was there indefinitely. He was like, I don't think I can come back. You should come here and film, and we can just I can talk about what I'm going through. So I showed up there. Me and Oz went to Florida, and I remember the night I got there before we actually filmed, we had like a really deep talk, and this trip was the trip that we decided we're going to do the feature-length documentary. And he was really going through a lot of personal stuff at this point. And I was like, I think this is what people need. I think they need to see this version of you that you're telling me right now. And so we decided, let's go ahead and do the documentary. He would open up, he would be raw, and we'd be able to get his story out there. Of course, I had to shoot C-Bum.
I just want to stay, bro.
Yeah.
We knew that he was going to be traveling a lot throughout this prep, but we just found out that he's not coming home.
He's kind of gone MIA from the office vibe. No one's talked to him.
I feel like it was hard on me too, because I had to just like let him just be alone, like just fully focus on himself.
So in my head this entire time, like I'm trying to hear all sides of the story. I'm trying to hear what the employees are going through, what's Heidi's going through, what he's going through. And I'm trying to currently piece the story in my head. I'm like, okay, how am I going to tell this, and how am I going to resolve it? That's always like at the forefront of my mind, is like, how am I going to resolve, whatever conflicts he's going through, and how am I going to share his struggles without sharing too much, or, maybe accidentally portraying him in a bad light. So all these things were going through my mind. And again, I've never done this before, so I'm really trying to figure this out as I go.
What's bigger, because like literally like a valued relationships, not even relationships, but those moments. Those moments are everything.
Is that a warm-up or?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Chris would just punk Christian all the time. It was hilarious.
I wanted that to be work instead. I'm strong as shit today. I don't know.
You are?
I'm strong. Yeah, I guess.
Not your presses.
Chris is calm.
I only put 2 in there because I was like, I didn't want him to look like he's just ragging on him the entire time. But he's funny. Chris is a funny guy.
Man, he's a friend.
Successful people have the ability to.
And I really think that like him going through this time in Florida, he spent a lot of time with Chris, and Chris is a very level-headed guy. He is really big on like self-work and getting his thoughts out there. And I think he helped Christian a lot during this.
And processing things. Like that was my first time kind of like speaking and being questioned about some things. And like, man, it's like I unlocked a whole different like why I'm reacting like this way, where it came from, like all these types of things. And it's gotten really, really like helped me a ton.
Yeah, so like with this documentary, I didn't want it to be a bodybuilding documentary, like I wanted it to show him based around the bodybuilding thing. I feel like more people will be able to relate to him as a person than him as a bodybuilder. So I was really trying to highlight, his personal life and all of that a lot more. Then like the workouts and his meal, what he's eating and everything like that. I feel like YouTube has so much of that, and this is something that people can connect with.
Doors, I'm on the ground on a foam roller, trying to like just get a breath, right? Like, but I'll never let anyone see me like that. If they're here to see me, why would I let them do that? They're here for me, I'm here for them. It's not about like smiling for the photo. That's not what it's about. It's about being attentive enough to like look the person in the eye and hear their name, get it right, and like be able to.
Yeah, so I think this is the second summer shredding. They do 3 or 4 a year. But this is like when he was really starting to feel the prep, like for real. And these summer shreddings really take a lot out of him because it's he's dieting and he's got a lot of meet and greets. He's got to be in front of people talking, speeches, judging the fitness show, all that. So frustrated with this shot, man. He walked out there and it was just me again. And I'm like, how am I going to get this shot? I wish I had a shot from behind and up front because it's such an epic shot with all the people. And I'm just there squirreling around with the camera and just made it work. At least I got clean audio. Again, all this documentary stuff is shot with the Komodo and manual focusing. I got so good at focusing manually. Whew.
Energized. I feel energized as hell.
Yeah, you see the DJI mic there straight up on his collar. I really tried not to do that. I wanted to hide it, but there were moments where it's just like, hey, this is happening now. Let's get out there and film it. So I just had to clip it on there, unfortunately.
Like literally when I was feeling like crap and just kind of bitching in my head and just like complaining and whining to myself, I look at them and I'm like, they probably feel worse than me right now. They're on this.
So I mic'd him up under his shirt right there. I have the nicer mic on.
And
sounds a little bit more crisp.
Right now I'm splitting the food. I'm gonna have like a few bites and then save for later. This is all I have for the rest of the day. So, bro, I literally can't even fucking stand up. Everything's so heavy. Like if you shove me, I'm gone. How sad is that, bro?
So it's like this is all you eat today for the
Rest of the day. I did that much rice. That was a good one. That was sick.
Yeah, again, man, had to zoom through all of this stuff. Like, I could have made an entire 30-minute documentary just on that one day of summer shredding, but it's just, we had to get to the point. It's one of the things when you're editing and cutting together a story, it's like, what serves the story? Stick to that. And, man.
Remember, don't overflex this.
Oh, I love this scene. So Oz cut this scene together, and this is one of the first things he showed me, and I was like, I got goosebumps the first time I watched this. I was like, this is the documentary. This is the tone of it.
Up top, that's how you know. It's like you don't give up on this, and you sacrifice this. And it's a combination of two. Look, see how you're right there?
Remember when we said like start with
Start. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Honestly, like the posing is really the main reason. Like I trust in Alex to be my coach.
Or each separately.
So different, bro.
I'm suffering. Come on.
We're still leaning on you, bro.
I was gonna say, jump up, get uncomfortable. Let's go.
It's good. Alex really pushed him to, stay focused. I love this, the music and all that. Good job, Oz.
Come on, breathe out.
I love this.
I've been a friend of Christian's now for going on to 5 years. So I've been able to witness his prep, his journey for the last 5 years, and now being a part of it for the sequel is definitely going to be something special. Yeah, so the general rule of thumb is your tricep should be sitting on the top of your lat. So the reason why we do that is simply to show no gaps. If your arms are too high and you see air between your tricep and your lat.
Yeah, see, so I also wanted to leave in a little bit of educational stuff because, if the average person is watching this and not into bodybuilding, like, I wanted them to get a sense of like, okay, why do they pose that way? Why do they hold their body a certain way? And like how, I guess, in tune they are with every little movement. I really wanted that to come across too. I didn't want it to be the focus of it, but like I wanted people to know like there's a lot to think about behind this. Like it's not just going up there and flexing. It's a lot more than that. Night before Vegas right here. Night before he left for Vegas. We met him up there a few days later, but remember this.
Enjoy the private, like the gym, just like, this used to be like an every night thing. Every night, just like this. It's the best. If I remember all the nights here, just like literally.
Again, cutting it to try to make it look like I had multiple cameras. This is just me.
Whenever, Niall's here running around.
Since we leave, we got to pack tomorrow, and then we leave Chicago. So this is literally the last workout we're gonna have here.
The last Alphaland workout?
Last one to prep for the year.
Damn.
And it's empty. I love that. It's like that wall when you hit it, and then you normally push past it a few reps. Like a little.
This was such a good, like, I love filming this workout scene set because there was no music playing. It was just us in the gym. It was like 1 a.m. in the morning. Everything was closed, and just got some of my favorite shots.
You're not giving up. It's just like, you literally cannot push it any further. This shit's literally just mind games, man. Everybody who's come to Houston for this summer shredding thing, including all of my athletes and my team, they're all at this after party that we're hosting, and I'm not there. It's kind of the first time I've ever.
It's pretty cool. It's all that this interview scene is lit, all natural, just lights in the gym, not anything crazy.
Any other day, any other moment, any other previous me would be there. Some time to fuck around. How many?
Pray for both of us.
Yeah, so I forgot. He went to Chicago for something, and then I met him in Las Vegas. This was the longest time I've ever spent in Las Vegas. Like, I think I was there 9 days. It's crazy.
It's hot as hell here. Penthouse is cool.
Man, it was hot. They had like some kind of crazy heat wave, and the wind, man, I remember the wind was just like a hot dryer just blowing into your eyes. It was crazy. Oh, I love that shot. Oz got that shot on, it was either Oz or Bill, I can't remember, but man, these are some amazing shots. Got this awesome penthouse that like overlooked the strip. Perfect place to film. So nice.
When you're that like lean, I feel slow. I feel like I can't process. Airbnb, really great view, but it was not very peaceful. There were too many people crammed in. There was no like, I do it to myself, don't I?
This was really hard. We had, so throughout the prep before, we were able to kind of split up time. So like his YouTube would film, he would film his YouTube on his own. I would come in for the documentary or whatever it was and film my day. So we were able to kind of like be out of everyone's way. But here in Vegas, we had a lot of people in one space, and it was very hard, very difficult.
Challenging for the people who are trying to read the room and decide, does he want me here to be
and like Kirby's saying, like, he hasn't had any food. He's frustrated. Everyone's crowding because we're all trying to get our shots. Everyone's just trying to do their job. And it was really hard to separate emotion from work here. It was a big thing that I learned. So just get what you need to get and let it happen.
I feel like right now with work, if I'm being honest, I feel really confident. From where we were at the beginning of this year to now, a lot of trust has been built with my managers.
I love this.
And I know they're holding it down. I know everyone knows what they need to be doing.
I say that a lot. But this was really such a cool Airbnb. It just like overlooked the whole strip, and
I don't know how I'd be.
We got so many cool angles here for interviews and for
6 weeks, 5 weeks.
All this stuff.
Without her, she's like making all of my food. She's just helping me so much.
So the lens that I shot on the red Komodo, and I also shot on the Sigma 24-70 because that lens has image stabilization on it, and it has a pretty decent range. Also had a speed booster on there so I could get a little bit of extra light. But that I was shooting handheld all the time, so that image stabilization in the lens, even though it's not as good as like in body stabilization, it helped kind of cut out those micro jitters. So that helped a lot.
That's so pretty cool. That's like the most memorable like training collab I've ever had.
You wouldn't want to work out with Arnold? He's not like at the top of your list?
He is, but he's.
So yeah, I tried to break up this story into 3 acts. So the first act was his history, who he was, all that with his parents and everything like that. Second act was like the pit of the struggles of prep, him just like hitting that low point, and now we're entering into what I consider the third act, which is him coming up, competing,
Four-time Mr. Olympia.
resolving the whole conflict, I guess. Conflict. Oh, this is so cool, man. Jay Cutler was an awesome dude, super cool guy, very professional, very nice.
So laser focused and didn't give up, and he won that shit.
How long you?
This was a hard gym to shoot in. It was such a cool gym, though. I love this gym. What's it called? Fit Club. It's kind of designed after like Fight Club, the movie, but it was so dark. And since I was shooting on the Komodo, I really struggled with my lighting in this. especially in this back room right here. So there's this room that they're in right now, and then we kind of go out to the front. There's a little more light out in front, but this room was just a struggle.
Meet every single fan, stay in line, talk to every single person. He remembers people. To me, that's so exhausting, right? Meeting and this, and I'm an extrovert.
I remember at this point, I was like, I hadn't really thought about it, but then I was like, man, we got James Harden, we got C-Bum, we got Jay Cutler, we got all these people in this documentary. Like, this is a legendary bodybuilding documentary. It's so cool. Oh yeah, so out here, the lights a little bit better, brighter. I shouldn't say better, but brighter.
That was a damn cool day for me.
You like seeing that shit, huh?
It was pretty good. It's not bad.
We like the striations, man. That means we're close.
What I learned from that workout?
It helps so much whenever the person that you're filming is used to be on camera like Jay is, and he just like, he could just like flow off of, he knew when the camera was on him, and he would just give us cool little nuggets.
I remember I was like, God, is this music like always? Is this music like who changed the song? Like what the hell is this music?
That's what I mean, dude. I get lost in these fucking weights, dude.
I wish I could. For me, if I hear something or see something, I'm like a dog in a bone.
Focus, bro.
Yeah.
I get distracted.
All right, come on.
I remember as a struggle. So right here, you see a DJI mic on Christian's hat, but I had a mic under here, and I worked really hard to hide the mics. But then like other people would come and want to do collabs with him, and they just throw their mics on everyone. And I'm like, well, a lot of good that does. Looks like for me trying to hide the mic, but it's cool. It worked out as part of it since he's a YouTuber. You know, it kind of goes with the story.
He's going to be at absolute best and peak. And that is a lot on your mind. And you don't want to do anything usually but get out of bed and just eat, right? So here he is working out, you know, doing all these extra things, and my hat goes off to him for sure. All right, last set. Come on, come on.
Jay just killed that interview.
Can you imagine you training with Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler like
10 years ago?
Like 10 years ago, if you said to your young self, that's why when you
That's cool. That painting in the background is Jay Cutler. So it's cool that, I don't know, I got a really cool shot. I think it was, might have been on this camera, but of him standing with himself in the background. I thought it was cool.
And it's just crazy when one door opens and you kind of go through, and then all of a sudden you're 20 doors deep.
There's probably no one in the...
Man, it's so cool watching this and just like reliving all the memories. Like we traveled so much during this year and got so much footage, and wish I could have showed it all and thrown it all in there. But like I said, that first cut was rough and it had a lot more footage in there, but it just did not make sense. There was no arc. There was no conflict. It was just almost like a very long YouTube video. Just like, here's what happened. And I really wanted it to be more than that. I wanted it to be a story that, you know, it takes you on a journey. So we had to cut a lot of it out, unfortunately.
Perfection. All right, so what else?
Pose.
Okay. Do in the back.
Oh yeah, on this
See how
one,
you own your latch? You just want to make sure one thing.
Oz was with me, so we had two cameras running on this one. I just saw myself in the background of that shot. Whoops.
Just make sure you don't go too high, yeah.
Go home and work on.
No, you're not going to pose anymore tonight. You're going to relax, eat your food. You said you're going to a film.
These rooms are hard to shoot in. A room full of mirrors to hide yourself. Crazy. Oh yeah, there he goes, messing with the mic.
Today was probably like top 2 most memorable collabs.
Man, and this stuff was so hard to get. I remember like we would do something cool, and then he would go in and be like, all right, tell me about your day. How did you feel? How did you do this? And I knew he really wasn't feeling like it. He wasn't, you know, didn't have a lot of energy, but he did it, and it just helps build the story so much.
I was in the room, but I was like in the back. I like literally felt like...
So thank you, Goose, for doing that.
I didn't deserve to hear that, you know. It's just wild, but legend. That's who that guy is. My last session could potentially be tomorrow, which is wild.
Yeah, it's crazy shooting all this natural light stuff on the Komodo, but hey, you can see. Did a lot of noise reduction. A lot of noise reduction.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, so he could only, we wanted to do something more crazy, but with the...
Man, so this is like the hardest thing that I noticed with shooting a documentary was like how he just came down right there. I didn't know that was happening, and I had to grab my camera, boot it up, be ready for whenever the moment happened. And that was one of the biggest downfalls of shooting on the Red is the boot up time is like 30 seconds or something. So I did lose a lot of moments, but moments like this, you know, where I got, it was awesome. But you just always got to be on your toes because you never know when something's going to happen or someone's going to walk in the room.
It looks really good.
But we got a lot of really good moments for sure. oh, that's such a crazy shot. And if you listen to the audio really close up, you can hear this crunching noise under his ribs. I don't know what that is, but it's disgusting.
On stage and stuff. Definitely taking it lighter than we usually would, especially as he gets closer. And then we're just going to do a little bit of range of motion.
So he did this every single night. I think we're like the entire week we were there for Vegas. He got this deep tissue massage, and it's crazy.
We got check-ins tonight. So we are 36 to 48 hours out from getting on the stage. Today's my last training as well, yeah. So Thursday before the show being on Saturday.
Oh, God.
Kelsey's just gonna hold it. There's too much happening.
Yeah. This is such a chaotic. I mean, I know in that clip you didn't really try to make it show, but there was just so much going on. People filming, people giving him clothes, people like feeding him, like all these different things happening this one time, and I was trying to capture that chaos. But it was hard because I also was part of the chaos.
On a blue kick right now.
We wanted Christian to feel like the athlete that he actually is.
Bro, that's a real jacket.
The reasoning behind creating these jackets is to one, support him, our appreciation for him, and a little celebratory thing, and also two is like, how you look, how you feel, how you play.
Thank you guys, man. And all done by? Let me see. 7 Kazran. Engineered by 7 Kazran in 4 weeks. Cam.
Let's go.
Damn.
This was a really cool room to film in because of all the diffused lighting. So didn't struggle there with light, thank goodness.
He's the guy.
Now I'm gonna be walking like an athlete. Watch. I'm gonna be like, my limp is gone, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna be walking like that.
He's going for his pro card, so he needs to come in looking like he's the man.
What's my number?
Number one.
Number 1.
Yeah, it was really hard editing because we had all of these like
hearing people talk annoys
you. Long periods of just conversation happening. So it's like, how do you pick what conversations move the story forward and which ones are just fluff? So that was a lot of the time-consuming part in editing, was just sifting through all those like long, just people talking. Also, while filming, I only had 2 mics, so I had to choose. Obviously, Christian always had one on. But then I was like, okay, who's the secondary person? This one is going to be Heidi, is going to be his parents, so that was really hard.
To have this rice and stuff.
It's just that. It's just not
so dry and like not like. Maybe I'm just so tired of eating something.
Oh wow, feels pretty real now. This is the only one in the whole year they do top 2 get a pro card because there's so many. Yes.
When you see the stage and stuff, you're like, oh shoot, you can go up on go on there and like do that whole routine, right? And everybody's watching you, so you kind of just feel for them. So
doing good.
Again, I wanted to give a feeling, if you've never been to a bodybuilding show, kind of what it feels like going in, checking in, what goes on behind the scenes, all that. Also, like throwing in a little bit of the fans, like taking pictures with Christian, because he does have a lot of people that know who he is whenever he goes, especially in the bodybuilding world. Oh man, this was such a cool night. This whole night was really cool. Got the gym, they hooked it up, they let us shoot in there after they closed.
It wouldn't be possible.
Final workout before the show. It was a really good night.
Give you my word. All right, so let's go work out and finish this up. All right. Bam. I'm gonna fucking move.
I love that moment. So that was what I really tried to get, was those moments of him, like he turns it on for YouTube and then boom, back to his normal self. So that was cool. I tried to get as many of those as I could.
Like I'm just like, are you sure you want me to work out with you on your last one?
Kevin and I.
Nabil cut this part together too. He's so good at like cutting stuff to music. Oh yeah, there we go. My favorite shots in the whole. Look at that. Oh, that shot right there. I remember when we were filming that in Fremont Street and that firework went off. I was behind the camera like, oh, I just got the coolest shot. And man, that was so cool. So right after this workout, we went to Fremont Street just to get this B-roll for Vegas. And he was so tired. He didn't want to do it, but I'm so glad that he did, because those shots are insane. So nice. That firework shot though, oh, money shot. We did it before you and Nora.
So like, listen, like that's what my friends really, it keeps the real interactions like in my life, which is something that I don't have much of. So
I value and cherish them.
This song is by Saint Mesa. You used a lot of music bed songs.
From the competition.
Hey.
Whiter than you right now.
I know.
Again, another one of those moments where everyone walks in and you got to figure out who has a mic, who you're going to focus on, what parts of the conversation you're going to cut in, all these things.
I love with all my heart.
I want him to finish doing this, and I want to have a good damn meal with him and enjoy it.
I'm praying he
Again, and then doing the interviews, man, it's just like keeping up with, all right, what questions do I need to ask? Because all of the main interviews, like the sit-down formal interviews, we did afterwards, and I had him talk in like present tense so that I knew I could insert it into certain parts. So having the story mapped out beforehand and knowing, okay, I need to ask him about this. How did you feel on show day? How did you, all these different questions. Oh, look at that sunrise light right there. Love that.
Let's get it rolling. Enjoy.
Again, boom. Turn it off. On to the next thing. Wanted to get those moments. That's like what it was like. He real relaxed on camera, real fun, and then boom, back to business. So it was all about getting those behind the scenes moments.
Jesus fuck, there's too much happening for me now. I feel like back up the cameras up there.
Oh, that moment right there. I remember that's the most that Christian ever got kind of not mad, just like, oh.
Whenever you're prepping, you move at a tortoise speed, and that's how Christian's moving. And he's like, why is everyone so slow? But we're looking at him like, you are so slow. So we're already starting off show day just stressed.
You go to bed like, okay, I hope I wake up and just like, it looks right.
Slow.
I could tell he is right at 10 right now.
In the middle back.
Oh, this moment. Can't believe I caught this on camera. This actually happened.
No.
Not staged.
Is that it?
And I already knew that he was like frustrated. So the fact that the Uber just drove off. Oh man.
At that point, I was like, I stepped back and I was just like stood by the door, but I'm looking at somebody like, uh-oh, like this is not good.
Everyone was like, uh-oh, but I was like, yes, this is what I need.
They did. They go pretty good. What? Were they not? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I felt good.
So Uber just left. It was like right here. I was waving it. The second I turned that corner, I was waving it down, and they left.
Honestly, I was phased for maybe 15 seconds, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back inside, just so I wouldn't start sweating and losing a tan, and getting out of my zone. That needs to get more organized now. That was terrible. That was probably my fault, but because not being ready.
Yeah, it was hard to I really tried to position myself to get all those little snippets in and out. Oh, another awesome shot, early morning shot. But yeah, positioning myself where I knew these conversations were going to happen about how he was really feeling to try to get it raw. And again, this was towards the end of the documentary, so I was learning how to do this.
Stress. I'm also trying to delegate and feed the team a little bit.
That's so funny. Everyone, we're all just staring at him right there, all right, what do we do?
It's a big part of the journey is documenting it.
Oh man, the light in this hallway, terrible lighting. Tried to fix it as best as I could in post, but it was one can light above. It was a service hallway in the hotel.
He's ready to come out and shine. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so you see how they're talking in present tense right there? I had to take them back because I think it had already been almost 2 months after the show. So I'm like, all right, what do you remember about that day, about those moments before? And it was really hard to get, get people back into that mindset.
Because these guys are big.
All the guys up there are massive.
There's a lot of jack dudes in here.
Oh shit, these guys are big.
Yeah, and if you notice, all of our cameras are down below head level. We're shooting really, really low because we weren't allowed to actually have cameras in there. So one of these is my shot with the Komodo. I took the screen off and it was just the Komodo brick and the lens. And then our friend Sam Solis was there, and then we had Oz there. So we had 3 people for day of because I knew this was going to be hard to get. So we were all just kind of hidden back like this, shooting between heads, trying to get the shot that we needed. And also, man, getting the audio. I really wish I could have had the announcer mic'd to get his audio in there, but just did the best we could with what we had.
Perfect.
Proud parents.
Christian Guzman.
He got 5th place.
Yeah, see right there where the announcer says 5th place. I really would, in my head in the edit, I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. Looking back now, I should have just voiced it over. Got a voiceover for that, but I don't know. Didn't think about it at the time, I guess.
Card is absolutely insane.
He is not just a YouTuber. He's not just someone that goes around and does these amateur shows. He got 5th place.
So at this point in the documentary, I wanted to let it feel like this was the actual end of it, and it was about to all get wrapped up. Like, oh, he got 5th place, but then out of nowhere hit him with, I'm doing another one. Because he actually didn't know at the time if he was going to do another one or not. And then he decided he was going to go to Pittsburgh and compete.
Proof that I do belong there. So, yeah, pretty proud. Very, very proud.
Back home in Sugar Land.
We are back in Houston, Texas. We finished up the first attempt at the pro card in Las Vegas, where we got first call-outs. Okay, we are in full swing photo shoot. Chelsea, Isaac, Harry, Kirby, model. What that means is that out of all the people in my class, the first initial 5 to 6 people that they call out to go up on stage and compare, those are your top out of the class. And everyone who's in the class has already won previous shows.
Yeah, again, with the story building of, like, how does a bodybuilding show works? Because, like, in my head I was thinking there's gonna be people that watch this that don't know how it works. So I was like, okay, go over and tell exactly what happened. What does a class mean? How do you, like, place in it and everything?
Well, one meal. Honestly, if I'm being very real, I didn't think I'd get top 10.
5th place. We got hardware. I'm excited.
He's coming back. He's not gonna stop. I know him.
I am back in the office.
At that moment, after getting the 5th place and getting a taste of it, I just did 20 weeks of prep. The longest prep.
Yeah, so right here I was like trying to make it a turning point, but like, oh.
Goals to achieve a pro card.
And we found out that Christian's not done yet.
Are you serious?
One thing I wish I would have had, you know, like going back and watching Kirby's interview, is I wish I would have, like, the moments that I wasn't filming with Christian, that I would have gone and filmed with the employees and what's going on at the business, because that alone could have been an entire documentary. Just keeping the business running while he's focused on all of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm good. The hardest thing.
Yeah, these moments, man. Like I said before, it's just like seeing him turn it on, be there for, like, his friends, the people, the models, or like whoever there's, like, you know, he's friendly and all that, but then he'd just go and just crash in his room. And when he's not filming for YouTube and everything.
It's like not eating proper meal timing. I'm hitting my macros, but like rough.
So I would try to maintain a distance like this right here, like kind of far back and shoot, and just give him space to, like, feel comfortable to express himself.
Right now, we're in Toronto. It had to be a good idea to pick a show like 10 days away from mine.
The third summer shredding in Toronto. So this was at his, like, really, really big low point. And like right here, you can just see it. So I'm really trying to focus in on these moments where he's just struggling.
Prioritize myself and eat my meal. So I really, really need it. I'm hurting really bad. You can see it in my eyes.
Get this. This is the final flight of this entire prep.
Man, it's so crazy. There's so much that happened that I didn't get to put in between, but we just had to keep the story moving, cut out the fluff.
At this point in Pittsburgh, a few days out.
Got these awesome drone shots from Nabil. He's a drone master.
Shredded.
We're here in Pittsburgh. Just good vibes.
For me, it's way more calming than Vegas.
Babe, how much tilapia do you want?
We do like 6 ounces.
Yep.
Yeah, the vibe was way different in Pittsburgh. I think everyone was a little bit more relaxed. We kind of knew what to expect. I love Pittsburgh because, I don't know, it just had, like, the trees and everything there. It made a really nice backdrop for filming.
Christian here, another meal.
I see a huge difference in his body. And it kind of scares me because I know that he's doing extreme prepping for the show.
Yeah, Yeah, these shots right here. This is a trail behind the Airbnb he was staying in. I was like, let's go there and just get some cool B-roll shots we can lay in. This was another one of my favorite shots. I don't know why it's so simple, but I do remember I was zoomed in all the way into 70 millimeters. He was looking over the balcony. The light was just like hitting perfect. I loved this shot. Looked really good on the big screen too.
From that last show day. Oh man, I can't wait to show the world for not just 24 weeks, but literally since beginning my fitness journey when I was 14 years old. Damn, 16 years.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the audio.
It's really beautiful.
Little rack focus, just playing this perfectly. Look at that. Yeah, these little cut-ins that are like, okay, ready, and go. But I feel like it helps move the story forward. Shout out again, Todd, Mad Valley Song. Go check it out on Spotify. His whole album is awesome. I love the music for this. I love that shot right there. Sun coming in.
Really looking. I think he'll give you more carbs with that one.
Christian at this point he looks great, but he's not great on the inside.
I feel like that shoulder needs to go up. It's just like staying up a little bit because then I get more shoulder caps.
This is a really low point for him. And I mean, he admits it too, but this level of pushing yourself is not fitness. This is unhealthy. And he has to go there. I mean, all athletes have to push themselves.
So funny, fun fact about Kirby's interview. I think her interview took about 2 hours. We did the entire thing and realized the card messed up or I forgot to hit record something dumb and had to do her entire interview over again. It was very embarrassing and I felt super bad for her, but second one came out good.
About feeling good and ready for my show this Wednesday.
This gym in Pittsburgh had really good lighting. I don't know why. Man, you'll see in the next day we come back here. The just color here I love so much. That red just pops.
These last 2 days have been the most challenging days.
I felt really bad filming in this location because obviously everyone is there for this big national show and that's one of the main gyms everyone works out in. And we walk in with like 3 camera people for Christian. I think Alex Toplin showed up with his camera people and we were just causing a big scene. But we got some good shots. But it's always important to remember when you're doing these things and there's other people involved, just be nice, be friendly, be respectful. Try not to get people in the background of your shot that don't want to be, and just be a fly on the wall. That's my take on it anyways.
Getting much more than we think we can. Brick by brick, focused, calm, collected, proud, and satisfied.
Again, Mad Valley with the music.
I'm proud of the fucking 19-year-old.
So at this point of the documentary, I wanted it to feel more hopeful. I wanted to kind of go ahead and start bringing the tone up and feel happy again, you know. Not that it didn't feel happy, but feel like more hopeful.
Man, and I'm evolving up here, and I feel it so much more this year than ever have. And I'm grateful for my journey. Everyone's like, what's happening tomorrow? I don't fucking know. Like, just like, I'm making itineraries like for right now, like for.
Again, I have so much of this footage of him just, you know, hanging out, talking, conversations, everything. Oh yeah, this is the day that I was telling you about. The color on this day, like that looks like a Rocky movie or like, oh man. I don't know. This day, something, the lighting, the color, everything was just working with me, and I love this stuff. I love this day, this scene.
Have that bicep touch the other one. Squeeze.
And I really wanted this to feel. This was the true final workout, so I wanted it to feel. I wanted you to feel like you were in his head, like everything was zoned out. You'd hear the coach's voice. You would just hear. You would feel what he feels.
More energy. In Vegas, like we were playing ping pong. He was in the hot tub. Like we even went shopping one day. Here, like he's having a hard time like getting up from the couch. He's getting like dizzy and stuff, which is like concerning. Yeah, he just seems like way more exhausted.
I know it's hard to tell from here, but I was a lot more compressed. I think I was trying to shoot everything at 70 millimeters. Just to give that feeling of distance, to feel like he was alone. Even though he wasn't alone, but mentally, I think he felt alone because he's going through this process, you know. Only you can go through this process, so I wanted to really feel that. And on this one, I was on my Komodo, and then I had Sam come, and he had Komodo. So we had dual Komodos on this shoot, on this day.
Because I actually beat myself.
So that was really nice, huge, really cool to have two reds.
Competing, destroyed those packages that I was able to bring.
Like, yeah, the color, the red, that green, his green tank top.
My shoulders I ever have.
I love it. Bro. This song. There's Nabil right there shooting for his YouTube.
Like, and evolving.
So that was another part, is like I did want it to feel like, you know, to see these moments of him still having to film for his YouTube and still having to turn it on for that, but still get what I needed to for the documentary, the real behind the scenes of it.
Did all that in 24 weeks.
We just finised the final workout.
This interview, I love, again, this is the same day, love the lighting, love the trees, everything in this.
24 weeks and we're done.
Color.
We're done. All that's left is just show. I'm happy right now. Like, I feel normal. Like as
another random thing that you wouldn't think about that was really, really hard to do. See how much he's sweating on that tank top? Keeping those mics. Well, I think there it's just magnetized on there, but keeping those mics with that sticky tape stuck to his sweaty shirt was so hard to do. I think like in one workout, I would have to change it out 3 or 4 times just because it kept getting wet and falling. So man, just like keeping up with all that stuff to try to keep it all in line.
So it's like when you put that much into something and you don't like steer off of it, it just, I feel just like proud, honestly. I ain't thinking about it after being present right now. 6 months ago, before this prep started, I don't know if I could have even thought to answer like that, you know? But it's not.
I love the Komodo. I feel like the way that it captures color, it just feels so rich, so thick.
Look at that. Happy about that too. I want to win on Wednesday, man. I want to win. I want to win.
Oh yeah, this is such a good, again, Nabil with the drone shot, and then we got the sound design in. You can hear the train, the traffic, and then that transition. Oh, that hits.
You know, food starts getting low. You can't wait till all of it to be out. It's like I think of it a gas tank, right? You get all of your groceries, and as soon as you're at a quarter tank, you got to fill up. You can't let it get past that quarter tank.
Really, holy shit, I'm tight.
So this wasn't even, I wasn't there at this point. I didn't stay at this Airbnb with them. I had a hotel room. So Nabil got this footage for me, and he was practicing posing, and it was just one of those raw moments where he just gets lightheaded and stuff. And I'm so glad that he got it, because it really, we saw a lot of this, but it was really hard to capture it because it would happen randomly. But I'm glad we finally got it on camera.
Everything just hurt. Everything like it was hard to breathe, especially like exerting, like when I had to like do my routines and stuff.
And that shot was actually shot with the FX3. And on this documentary, we had, like I said, the majority of it was shot on the Komodo. Some of it, like this, was shot on the FX3, and then some of the stuff in Vegas that Oz came along with was shot on the R5C. And I was very, very surprised at how similar the FX3 and the Komodo cut together and color together. They have a very similar color profile, and I would not have thought that.
Like level of it. It's taken me 11 years to get to this level of competing, right? So it's not something to be so like terrified. Like
this was cool. We had dual Komodos here too, so I was able to get that 2 angle of his interview. Wish I would have had that the whole documentary. That would have looked good. Get that production value, but next time.
He's ready to eat. I'm ready to.
So one of the good things about shooting with the Komodo, I shot the whole thing in RAW. So although it's slower to boot up and it's manual focus, I don't have to think so much about my settings. I can just shoot and then know that, I can adjust the ISO in post. I can adjust the white balance in post. I don't have to like nail it right there in camera. So that was a big, big help to get some of these moments that were just happening really quick.
So
What the?
I still need a lot.
I made him open up the meat counter for this.
We're so excited to finally be at the end.
So we were going to send it to you. Like we all
Oh,
made
really?
a video for you.
Oh.
But we were gonna send
And Christian has an amazing support system.
See, it's so hard like that with Chelsea right there. Like I wish I had her mic'd, but it's just, it was really hard to pick and choose. I think I had Heidi mic'd and Christian mic'd, and I only had 2 mics, so it was rough with the audio. The biggest challenge with filming one of these was definitely the audio.
I'm already emotional right now. Nothing, never got like a thank you or like we appreciate. I don't really get much of that, believe it or not, from like a group like at once, like ever, like never. So like that meant so much, honestly.
Hi, Christian. So your Athlete family has a few words.
This is cool. So this song is one of Christian's from his YouTube, a song that he, I guess, frequents a lot. So it's kind of his personal brand. And I thought it'd be cool to get this acoustic version so that he could play behind all his team, telling him that they're thinking about him and everything. And those tears are real. He really cried. It's cool. Again, you feel so bad when you're filming these documentaries because it's like, oh yes, you want the tears, you want him to cry, you want him to feel it.
Final attempt, final
but
show.
It's all in good fun.
And I'm taking my off season.
I know it's gonna hurt, but you're
Again, there was so much more of this. Like we all had matching jackets, filmed all that. But
walking to the venue
it's just hard to pick and choose. Hard to pick and choose what goes in and what drags the story and what pushes the story. Again, I know I keep repeating myself with that, but that's really what in the edit is the hardest thing, is deciding where does it lull, where does it pick up. Stay in there, baby. Again, Mad Valley with the music, kind of a victorious sound. We wanted it to feel hype, picked up.
Screaming, oh my gosh. And he's holding that center for a while.
And also, same thing with this show. We weren't allowed to film in there, so we were trying to hide. Luckily, this was towards the end of the day, so they weren't quite as strict, so we were able to kind of stand up a little bit. And I think maybe one of us got kicked out, but we were able to get several angles and
Smiling, but I knew in the inside he was like,
and get the shots we needed.
so that's what I wanted.
Well, as soon as they move you out of the center,
What I really wanted to get was backstage, because for hours before he goes out on stage, he's just in the back room, pumping up, like getting in the zone. And I really wanted those moments, because I feel like if I could have got those moments, and those would have added to that intensity and to that, I guess, drama of like, all right, it's all coming down to this. But they wouldn't let us back there with cameras, so just had to make do with what we had.
And you know what? I'm so happy. The show in Pittsburgh is over, and I'm so happy that my son got another medal, and he got 5th place. To me, it's amazing.
I think Pittsburgh was a fair competition. Christian placing, it was great. He's the winner.
I think he was a little upset because he knew in the morning.
It was cool. So again, in the storyline, just trying to get everyone's final thoughts on it and all that.
He's just a competitor. He wanted to do better, I think.
I feel like he could have gotten like a place or two higher, but it's hard when it comes to judges, like what exactly they're looking for. Are they looking for size? Are they looking for leanness?
I think all of us are just experiencing a sense of relief because we knew that
there we
his
go.
goal
Got
was
me
to
in
be
it.
top 5, and he achieved it. I mean, obviously his long-term goal is to get his pro card, which he will.
Yeah, so for all these interviews, I used a Sennheiser boom mic, just going straight into the Black Magic. I should have said that earlier. But in case you were wondering,
But now this is the real finish line.
The guys were huge. Like, these guys were so big, but I held my own. Fifth place, first time ever doing the 2 most challenging shows of the year. I'll take it. We're not done.
Here's my trophy.
That's right. I'm the real trophy.
You are. We did our second national qualifying.
this is a cool moment. So this moment was actually while Christian was backstage, and we were all just kind of hanging out, just like reminiscing, and like I think that in at this time it was like September, so it was still hot in Texas, and it was like nice and cool out there, and we were all just there together, and a lot of us had been traveling the world for months at this time, and we kind of all just had this moment of like, dang, this is it. This is the last of it, and just overlooking the city, really cool.
Get back to work.
That's the thing that I love about all the films and all the things projects that I've gotten to be a part of is the memories you make with people and how close you get with people. Whether it's a narrative or a documentary like this, like you really build relationships with people, and you kind of become a little family at the end of it.
Thank you so much.
Really, thank you.
You literally have changed our lives.
Now we go to Houston.
I saw a glimpse of him.
So I was like, how am I going to end this in an epic way? Because again, like I said, I didn't really want it to be a bodybuilding documentary. I wanted it to be more about his personal growth. And we all knew that he was going to be proposing. And I was like, what better way to end it than him getting the ring and then popping the question at the end.
So I leave tomorrow at like 6 a.m. So my lie's already.
Again, that was shot with the FX3. Oh man, this song right here. I think Nabil picked this song out. Just hits so much at the end.
I need to cool off before I see it. Don't let me look at it before I cool off.
I've been waiting for the moment to arrive.
This is it. All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
There it is. They went to Egypt for their proposal. Wish I could have gone to film that, but it's a tricky trip to get, especially taking a bunch of camera gear. But that's it. That is the documentary. My first feature-length documentary, my accidental feature-length documentary. But yeah, there's all of our names. Kirby produced it. She was a big help in organizing hotel rooms, organizing gear, rentals, all that stuff. So she really helped out a lot in that. Again, Nabil and Oz with the edit could not have done such a quick turnaround without them. Sam coming out to help film. Just so many people that were part of it. Everyone, couldn't have done it alone. But thank you for watching. I know this was a long video. I don't know if anyone's actually gotten through to the end of this video, but I thought it would be cool to just kind of give my thoughts on what it was like filming a feature-length documentary. I would love to do this again. I would love to have the opportunity to tell a story in a long form like this. Like I said before at the beginning, I wish that I would have known the first 3 months that I was filming this for like an hour and a half long documentary, but unfortunately didn't figure that out until 3 months later. So in my opinion, the beginning is kind of choppy and the end is kind of where I started picking up the story, because as soon as I found out, I started trying to figure out how I was going to take the story. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy with it. It was a huge accomplishment. And it's something that I think, everyone should do. Every filmmaker should do once, is I think they should do a very serious documentary like this, because it'll teach you, one, to shoot, to be on your toes, shoot fast, figure out what you need to move the story along and what you don't need. And yeah, I'm just super grateful for the opportunity. Super thankful for Christian, because he trusted me with this. He just let me have the reins, let me tell the story how I wanted to tell it, and didn't question it, and gave me the platform to be able to put this out into the world. Yeah, it was just a great overall experience. But thank you so much for watching this. We're going to be back with a lot more cool content, tutorials. We combined the channel again to be Justin and Kirby. So we're going to be putting all of our content on here, podcast, tutorials, breakdowns, personal work, all that stuff. So make sure you're subscribed because a lot of cool stuff is coming, and follow us on all the socials at Justin Betancourt and Kirby Betancourt. And can't wait for you guys to see what's coming. Alrighty. Talk to you soon.